Welcome, Bitcoin fam and La Familia. I'm your host, JV. Welcome to podcast episode number 1102. And let's get today's show on the road. In today's show, $3 billion in Bitcoin has officially left the exchanges this week amid the FTX contagion fears. That's right. It appears that more investors are choosing self-custody of their Bitcoin funds in the wake of the FTX scandal and fallout. In breaking news just in, FTX's largest asset holding is $2.2 billion of a crypto token called Serum. That's right, but its entire market cap is only $84 million. And now for the kicker, Sam Bankman-Fried also founded Serum. Also, check this out. FTX bought $74 million of real estate in the Bahamas this year of 2022 with your money. Also in today's show, Sam Bankman-Fried is under supervision in the Bahamas looking to flee to Dubai. That's right. It's understood that SBF and two former FTX associates are currently under supervision by Bahamian authorities. I'll be breaking this down for you. Also in today's show, $389 million in FTT abruptly leaves FTX contract address and moves to an unknown crypto wallet following the hack we talked about yesterday. Also in today's show, Elon Musk confirms an encounter with FTX and says Bankman-Fried set off his BS detector. As Elon tweets here, he set off my BS detector, which is why I did not think he had $3 billion, referring to the Twitter acquisition. Also in today's show, Binance CEO CZ reveals why the deal with the FTX collapsed and says the industry is now facing a 2008 style meltdown. Also in today's show, here's how long crypto needs to recover from the embarrassing FTX mess, according to crypto analyst Nicholas Merten. I'll be breaking down his $10,000 Bitcoin price prediction, quoting him here. I would say, again, while everyone's got different opinions on this, to be a bit more cautious, I would expect that if you are really trying to buy the dip and you are not going to wait for a trend reversal, we would likely expect something in this pocket somewhere around 82 to 84% as we reach that big even number of $10,000. We'll also be breaking and taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. Welcome everyone just tuning in. I'm your host JV, podcast episode number 1102. We have so much to cover. Today is November 13th, 2022. So let's dive right into today's market watch. Checking out Coin360. Right here, you can see the market is currently correcting. A long anticipated weekly close will be the end of the day. And if we don't close above 18.5, things are likely to continue in a bearish trajectory. Unfortunately, we got Bitcoin down 1.4% for the day, trading just above 16,600 at the time of this live stream. We got Ether down 2.5%, maintaining just above $1,200. BNB down almost 2%, trading at $278, while Solana and Tron and Matic are the biggest losers in the top cryptos, while Polkadot is barely breaking out and in the green, and Uniswap is also pumping. And checking out CoinMarketCap.com, we're currently sitting at an $833 billion market cap with $48 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. The current Bitcoin dominance, 38.3%, with the Ether dominance at 18.1%. And checking out the top 100 cryptocurrency gainers in the past 24 hours, we have Trust Wallet Token up a whopping 56%, probably because everyone's removing their crypto from the exchanges, right? And we also have Toncoin up 8%, trading at $1.60, and Uniswap up almost 5%, trading at $5.89, followed by Zcash and Unis, said Leo. And checking out the top 100 cryptocurrency gainers for the past week, the only one in the top 100 is TWT, up about 60%, while the other top altcoins are all in massive losses, ranging from 20% upwards to 50 or even 60%. And taking a look at the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, one of my favorite indicators, we're currently rated a 22 in extreme fear, yesterday a 21, last week a 40, and last month a 24 in extreme fear. And if you're not familiar with the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, extreme fear can be a sign investors are too worried. That can be a great buying opportunity, aka BTFD, buy that freaking dip. And when investors are getting too greedy, that means the market is due for a correction. So there you have it. Welcome once again, everyone tuning in to today's live show. So much to cover, so let's dive right into today's Bitcoin technical analysis, shall we? Bitcoin investors are withdrawing funds from exchanges at a rate not seen since April of 2021, with nearly $3 billion in Bitcoin withdrawn over the past 7 days. New data from on-chain analytics firm Glassnode shows the number of wallets receiving Bitcoin from exchange addresses hit almost 90,000 on November 9th. That's right. Amid ongoing turmoil over the bankruptcy of major exchange FTX, concerns have heightened among exchange users over the security of funds. Commentators have upped advice to avoid custodial wallets and take control of crypto assets, and regulators are increasing scrutiny of the crypto industry en masse. And on-chain figures suggest that a large number of hodlers have opted for non-custodial wallets over the past week. The number of withdrawing addresses saw a huge spike on November 9th. This surpassing the daily highs for both May and June of this year, when Bitcoin price action last saw significant downside pressure. And for November 12th, the latest date for which data is available, withdrawing addresses is totaled over 70,000 wallets. That's right, which you can see here, brought to you by Glassnode. The same Glassnode data gives an hourly average of over 3,000 withdrawing addresses over the 7 days to November 13th, which is outlined here in this chart. Now, the numbers tie in what appears to be a rapidly declining Bitcoin reserves across major trading platforms. That's right. And while the velocity of the drop suggests that the true balance tally may be difficult to confirm at present, data from on-chain analytics resource CryptoQuant puts the overall exchange reserves at their lowest since February of 2018. Like, whoa, CryptoQuant tracks a total of 38 exchanges, including those with reported financial problems, such as FTX and KuCoin, which you can see in this chart showing you all the exchanges. And another chart, this time from CoinGlass, suggests 177,000 Bitcoin in weekly withdrawals through November 13th, a US dollar value of around $3 billion at today's price. We're talking about mass exodus. Glassnode senior analyst Checkmate nonetheless flagged 3 exchanges in particular with what he called particularly weird Bitcoin balance readouts, including Hobby Global, Gate.io, and Crypto.com. That's right. So if you have any crypto on the exchanges right now, remove it and put it in cold storage. This is your last warning. Heed. That's right. Concluding a dedicated thread into the topic, he noted that exchange balances are best estimates based on wallets clustering. They are more likely to be a lower bound than an overestimate, quoting him here. These fund flows between exchanges include both real customers plus FTX/Alameda. Hard to separate, thus looking at relative to balance, he added. And forecasting how the current scenario may play out, we got crypto analyst Mikhail Benepop, who meanwhile said that the worst was likely not over yet, quoting the analyst here. Probably will have more issues with exchanges coming weeks, but probably also a ton of gossip. He told Twitter followers, stay safe, be calm, and don't make emotional decisions. We're in terrible territories, but crypto will come out stronger. And at the time of this recording, as you can see right on your screen, we got Bitcoin currently trading just above $16,600. Let me know how low you feel the King Crypto is likely to go for this month of November and to end out this year. Do you think we'll break the current low of $15,600? Let me know in the comments right down below. Now, let's break down our next story of the day. There's rumors circulating all across the crypto sphere of the arrest of Sam Bankman-Fried, as a story was published by Cointelegraph just yesterday about his ultimately detaining him in the Bahamas, which is where FTX and Alameda is out of. So without further ado, let's break down our next story of the day and discuss SBF potentially being arrested. And let's break it down. FTX former CEO Sam Bankman-Fried, co-founder Gary Wang, and director of engineering Nishad are understood to be in the Bahamas under a supervision by the local authorities. A source familiar with the matter told Cointelegraph that the 3 former FTX executives, as well as Alameda Research CEO Caroline Ellison, are looking for ways to flee to Dubai. I wonder why. And while the plan was made assuming that the U.S. doesn't have any extradition treaties with the UAE, the nation signed a mutual legal assistance treaty back in February of 24th, 2022 to work against criminals. Right now, 3 of them, Sam, Gary, and Nishad, are under supervision in the Bahamas, which means it's hard for them to leave, said the source, who asked to remain anonymous. The source also revealed that Ellison is currently in Hong Kong, adding that she might be able to get to Dubai. However, community member Coin Bureau cited his source in the U.S. government to confirm that FTX members attempting to reach Dubai will get detained at the airport and sent straight back to the United States. Nice try trying to escape, right? A similar theory was discussed as a part of a 16-hour-long Twitter space by Crypto Roundtable show host Mario Nawfal, with a guest speaker claiming trusted sources have witnessed Bankman-Fried in a locked space with authorities in Albany Tower Tower, a luxury resort located in New Providence in the Bahamas. Now, an unverified rumor also suggests that Bankman-Fried is currently joined by his father, Joseph Bankman. Rumors that Bankman-Fried have been arrested on the tarmac at the Bahamas airport made the rounds on November 10th, with evidence suggesting Bankman-Fried's private jet had been grounded for 40 minutes on the way from Miami to Nassau in the Bahamas. And on November 12th, rumors then pointed to Bankman-Fried having landed in Buenos Aires in Argentina in the early hours of the day after Twitter users tracked the coordinates of his private jet using the flight tracking website ADSB Exchange. And later in the day, Bankman-Fried, in a text message to Reuters, denied speculation that he had fled to Argentina, claiming he was still in the Bahamas. Now, the former FTX CEO is at the center of one of the industry's biggest scandals. You can say that again. A report from the Wall Street Journal on November 9th suggests that the U.S. Department of Justice and the SEC are investigating the collapse of the crypto exchange. And it gets very interesting how closely tied Gary Gensler is in all of this. Now, the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation in the state of California announced on November 10th it'll open up an investigation as an apparent failure of the exchange. Now, approximately 130 companies in the FTX group, including FTX Trading, FTX US, and Alameda Research, started bankruptcy proceedings on November 11th. Now, what is ironic in all of this, what stands out to me, is the fact within 24 hours from Sam Bankman-Fried filing bankruptcy, he told everyone on crypto Twitter that their funds were safe, especially on FTX.us, being it's a separate entity, and he said it had no connection to being, withdrawal stopping, whatever. He's basically trying to increase the investor confidence in the exchange. And within 24 hours, he files Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So Bankman-Fried has been scheming and scamming, to say the least, with the biggest scam in crypto history. Do you believe that Bankman-Fried deserves to be in jail right now? Let me know your honest thoughts in those comments right down below. And later on, I'll be reading the live Q&A, which I am looking forward to. Without further ado, now let's discuss their native token, FTT, as it abruptly leaves the FTX contract address, moving to an unknown crypto wallet, almost 400 million worth. 60% of the FTX token, FTT, in existence has suddenly been transferred between crypto wallets as the fall in crypto exchanges dramatic. Collapse continues. First reported by blockchain track and service Swell Alert. Etherscan data shows almost 200,000 FTT, worth $389 million, leaving FTX's contract address and into an unknown wallet. The FTT sent was originally a part of its locked supply or tokens that can't be transferred or traded until unlocked in batches. FTT's entire maximum supply of 328 million tokens have now been deployed. Go figure. Now, FTF token contract deployer has transferred out of entirety of the supposedly locked FTT tokens into circulation. Proceed with caution. Now, FTX and its trading arm, Alameda Research, collapsed last week after becoming insolvent, and its top executives have yet to report a precise explanation of what actually happened. And following the news of the collapse, FTT caved in and dropped over 92% within 6 days and remains nearly 98% down from its all-time high, currently changing hands at $1.89. That's right, before this whole mess transpired, FTX coin was trading at roughly $24. Now, venture Coinist founder and crypto analyst Luke Martin says that the whale transfer could be FTX's liquidators or bankruptcy firm taking controls of the token, but also notes it would be odd for such proceedings to be happening late on a Saturday night. Binance CEO CZ also commented on the big FTT movement, saying he wasn't clear on what's happening. Quoting CZ here, FTT contract deployers moved all the remaining FTT supply, worth $400 million, which should be unlocked in batches. Not sure what is going on. Now, at this time, the FTT in the new wallet appears to not have moved, and it is not clear whether there is enough liquidity left in the market to absorb the shock if it were to be sold on the open market. So there you have it. Do you feel this is likely an inside move, this hack? Do you think that Bankman-Fried backdoored this and is scheming once more, even with the authorities on his tail? The nerve of this guy. Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. With that being shared, now let's break down our next story of the day and discuss Elon Musk's thoughts on Bankman-Fried after he tried to help basically acquire Twitter by trying to put in like $5 billion into that. But Elon, fortunately, his BS radar went off and it shut him down. So let's break this down, shall we? Tech billionaire and new Twitter CEO Elon says he turned down a meeting with Sam Bankman-Fried earlier in the year after the former crypto billionaire gave off some red flags, first shared by internal tech emails, which post emails from the tech industry that appear in public records. Morgan Stanley banker Mikhail Grimes reached out to Musk on behalf of Bankman-Fried, offering a partnership on his Twitter investment. And according to the email records, Grimes told Musk that the then FTX CEO was interested in investing up to $5 billion in Elon's Twitter takeover and potentially helping to implement blockchain to the social media platform. Says Grimes could do $5 billion if everyone's visions locked. Would do the engineering for social media blockchain integration. He founded FTX Crypto Exchange, believes in your mission, major Democratic donor, so thought it was potentially worth an hour tomorrow. Can talk when you have more time. It's not urgent, but if tomorrow works, it can get us $5 billion in equity in an hour. Now, Elon said that because of Twitter's bandwidth requirements, a blockchain integration would require enormous nodes, which would defeat the purpose of attempting to decentralize the platform. And later in the email exchange, Musk cast doubt on whether Bankman-Fried actually had the cash for such a deal. Does Sam actually have $3 billion liquid? Elon responded. Musk, a crypto supporter and Dogecoin enthusiast, confirmed the authenticity of the email exchange Twitter on Friday. As he confirms here, accurate, he set off my BS detector, which is why I do not think he had $3 billion. Well, kudos to Elon for seeing through him. Now, the email exchange took place less than 7 months before Bankman-Fried, FTX, and his trading arm Alameda and several other associated entities officially filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in what is thought to be the biggest wipeout of wealth from the crypto industry in its entire history. Facts. Let me know your thoughts surrounding this entire debacle, and how do you feel this is likely to play out? And do you think that Bankman-Fried is likely to get away with all this and not serve any jail time, being he's well connected to the Democratic Party and his family in connection as well? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. Now, naturally, I think we're all in agreement. We'd all love to see Bankman-Fried serve some jail time for scheming literally billions upon billions of dollars from crypto investors and lying to them in their face, telling them that everything is okay, but meanwhile filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and yeah, just fraud at its greatest. Now, without further ado, let's break down our next story of the day and discuss CZ on the FTX deal. Let's break this down, shall we? Binance CEO, the chief executive of the world's largest crypto exchange, is revealing why the potential deal with the former competitor and bankrupt firm FTX failed to go through. In an interview at the 2022 Indonesia FinTech Summit, CZ says that the rescuing FTX from bankruptcy did not make sense for Binance from both business and legal standpoints. Quoting CZ, from our perspective, the deal did not make sense from a numbers front. From a financial perspective, it's a big hole. From new users, we have very high overlap. We cover all the regions they cover, and they have much less users than us. From a technology or product perspective, I think we have a superior product. They don't have anything that we don't have. So our original intention was to save the users, but then the news of misappropriating user funds, especially U.S. regulatory agencies, investigations were like, okay, we can't touch that anymore. My humble opinion, I think CZ knew this the whole time and was playing a game of chess. Just saying. The Binance head also says the analogy that crypto is witnessing a 2008-like market meltdown, which is probably accurate, quoting him here. I think we have seen another very big player go down. A few months ago, there was Luna, Three Arrows Capital. Luna was big. Three Arrows Capital was smaller. And then with Celsius and Voyager, they were even smaller. But then FTX is big. With such a big player going down, I think we're seeing $30 billion to $40 billion. That's an FTX valuation that was before, plus quite a few $billion of user funds. That's gone. With these types of events happening, it's devastating for the entire crypto industry. A lot of consumer confidence is shaken. I think basically we've been set back a few years. I agree 100%. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And in 2008, the world saw one of the worst crises in history as losses from subprime loan investments triggered a severe recession that wiped out over $2 trillion of wealth from the global economy. And to watch this video with CZ, check the show notes below the video in the description. And before I break down our final story of the day and we discuss this $10,000 price prediction from the DataDash founder, Nicholas Merten, I just want to welcome everyone just tuning in to today's live show. But all right, now let's break down our final story of the day. Shall we? Here we go. Popular analyst Nicholas Merten is laying out a timeline for Bitcoin and crypto to recover from this massive collapse of digital asset exchange FTX and its associated entities. In a new strategy session, Merten tells his 500,000 YouTube subs that with Bitcoin showing obvious weakness as it remains below the 200-week moving average, another leg down is more than likely. He sets a price target of about 13,600 for a possible Bitcoin bear market bottom, which is only 2,000 from the current bottom. Just FYI, quoting him here, we are well below that 200-week moving average. This is the first in Bitcoin's history. On top of that, we just simply take a look at the percentage decline from top to bottom. We got around 77.6%. Definitely looking like we might be getting close to that 80% target that I think many of us would agree is likely more in line with what we should expect. But important to step back, and again, another reminder here that an additional 3 or 4% for Bitcoin takes a lot of effort. It's going to take us well below that $14,000 target towards around 13,600. I would say, again, while everyone's got different opinions on this, to be a bit more cautious, I would expect that if you're really trying to buy the dip and you are not going to wait for a trend reversal, we would likely expect something in the pocket somewhere around 82 and 84% as we reach that big even number of $10,000, which is outlined here in this chart. Let me know if you feel of a potential bottom of 10,000 could be in the cards for the King Crypto. And let me know by what date you feel this can occur. Let me know in the comments. Now, Merten says that the collapse of FTX, compounded by other recent failures of crypto lending companies Celsius and brokerage firm Voyager, will probably keep the prices and consolidation for a year at minimum, or possibly even 2 more years. Quoting the analyst, I know a lot of people that want to buy the flash dips here, but as you can see, price is going to take a long period of time. Even if this is the bottom, it is going to take a long period of time of consolidation before things get fixed. Trust me on this. FTX, the whole situation is a complete mess. It's an embarrassment to the industry, and trust me, I have no incentive to say this. It is going to set this industry back. Plus, all that happened with Celsius and Voyager and all the major players out there, it's going to set this industry back a year plus. You can bet on it at a minimum, potentially a year or 2 years with the distrust this is going to build for institutions. So there you have it. And to watch this video he did entitled, Is the Bitcoin Crash Finally Over? Check the show notes below the video in the description and let me know if you agree or disagree with the crypto analyst that the industry has likely been set back a year minimal and potentially even 2 years. And with that being shared, welcome everyone just tuning in. Let's dive into today's live Q&A, one of my favorite sessions of the live show. Welcome, Helen. It's good to see you, family. Dan in the house. We got Seattle John. We got Steve W. We got Dragon Flower. We got Frankie V. How was your birthday yesterday, broski? We got Shiba Inu. We got Chuck Strickland. We got Eric Castro. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got Coin Father. It's good to see you as always, family. We got Charles L. We got Bitcoin Cow. We got Rave Elevator. Good to see the fam in the house. Let's read some of these comments. Steve W. Depends on what Sam did with the money, but looks like he should, referring to him serving prison time. Coin Father says, Bitcoin Cow, let's go. Is SBF under arrest? How is he during FTT without the authorities knowing? Who knows? For all we know, this is all an inside job and the authorities could be working with SBF, as Gary Gensler has ties in all of this, which I broke down in great detail in yesterday's episode. So this includes a lot of people at the top, and I think that's why they allegedly hacked the exchange, and they told everyone to delete their apps. I think they may be trying to hide evidence. At least that's what BitBoy's conclusion is. They're trying to hide what is happening and delete all the evidence right now. And this is unwinding so fast, all within a week. Could you imagine? Now, CoinFather says Solana should be finishing up and fix that crap that Daze's hack. Yeah, man, it's not looking good for Solana. As you know, FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried are one of the main reasons Solana even grew at the rate that it has for 2022. So this has definitely set them back big time, and it may be the end of Solana for all we know. Who knows? And it's uncertain right now, but Solana is absolutely crashing, so keep your eyes on it. Bitcoin Cal says Chuck with the backdoor key via one of staff buddies. That's right. It could be one of Bankman-Fried's buddies working together with him. I am more curious as to how the SEC dragged its feet in Bankman-Fried meetings with Gensler. That's the million-dollar question, Charles, that we should be asking each other right now. There is connections here. Very interesting connections, because here we go. Gensler's boss was an MIT professor with connections to Caroline Ellison, who is Bankman-Fried's lover, who is the CEO of the company. So there's a weird relationship going on, and Gensler had to know what's up. I think as if that Bankman-Fried was planted here by the government or by the SEC specifically to police a bad actor so they can go after more good actors. It wouldn't surprise me at this point, because SEC has been so focused on Kim Kardashian and all of these small things that have not much relevance when you got multi-billion-dollar schemes right under their noses taking place. So it's hard for me to believe that Gary Gensler and the SEC did not know what's going on, because they greenlit Bankman-Fried. They allowed all of this to transpire. So who's responsible for all of this? Gary Gensler seems just as much responsible. The SEC seems just as much responsible as Bankman-Fried, in my humble opinion. But let me know your 2 Satoshis in the comments right down below. They better call Saul. Smash the like. I appreciate that, Helen. I appreciate the support. Dan says, I'd like to thank SBF for all the cheap sats currently and all of the collapsing exchanges in the near future. Yeah, thank Bankman-Fried, because I don't think anyone is ever going to trust a centralized exchange ever again. And if you've been looking to buy sats on the low, as Dan pointed out, now is a great buying opportunity. So keep stacking them sats, fam. That's right. Matthew says, I agree, SEC and SBF working together. SBF planted by the Fed. I mean, I have no other conclusion, because they know too much. They're not as stupid as they portray themselves to be, the SEC and Gary Gensler. Gary Gensler is an expert in crypto. He knows what is good, and he allowed this to happen. Go figure. And that was for them to take over with regulations, destroy DeFi, and use that as a target. Coinfather says, so Jonah Hill can play SBF in the movie. We'll see this in a few years from now. Absolutely. But the $1 million question, who's going to play Caroline, his beautiful... I'll just leave it at that. Matthew says, where did the Democrats get their money? Curious. Bankman-Fried. Happy birthday, Helen and Frank. Shout out to Helen. I didn't know it was your birthday today. Yesterday was Frank's birthday. So happy birthday to the two of you. Much love. Hopefully you're enjoying it out there in the UK. Helen has been a long time subscriber and viewer of the show from the very beginning, from 3 years ago, back when I first got started. So I got much love for Helen. Steve W says, not very much support for Bitcoin at 16,000. If the daily hits 15,000, we'll drop to 11 or $12,000. Rave says, these rug pulls will keep happening. Remove your coins from the exchanges. Sage advice. I can't stress that enough. If you're keeping crypto on the exchanges, what are you doing? We've been telling you this for the longest time. Not your keys, not your... Finish the sentence. Helen's B-Day, okay. Just happened. Sounds like high-level Ponzi that went bad. God, if we really knew what goes on behind closed doors, we would never believe it. Charles says, from all I read, the SEC allowed this in hopes this would happen to the SEC, would step in and use FTX as their patsy to gain more control over the crypto market. Bingo. Agreed 100%. Thank you for sharing that, Charles. You read my mind. Best stream ever, says Helen. Greatly appreciate that. Means a lot. So how low do you think the crypto price for the King Crypto is likely to go for this year, considering the FTX collapse, considering the contagion, and considering the worst is probably still yet to come? How low do you feel will likely get to this bottom for 2022, considering that the current low is 15,600? Do you feel that 14, 13, 12, 11? Do you think we can get sub $10,000 this year before we wrap up and head into 2023? Let me know. I'd love to read your thoughts out loud here. Doesn't matter where we go, it's where we're going that counts. You make a great point, Tom T. Also like to stress, Bitcoiners aren't complaining right now, because one Bitcoin is still equivalent to one Bitcoin. So you didn't lose nothing. The only people losing right now are the Ishcoiners, who have been Ishcoining around and keeping their reserves on the exchanges, which we've been advising you not to do for the longest time. So if that occurred to you, I am sad, but at the same time, stop keeping your crypto on the exchanges. How many lessons do we need to learn? Helen believes that the bottom is going to be between 8,000 to 12,000. I pray that you're right for the sake of stacking sats at an all-time low, which I wouldn't even conceive possible a year ago, especially when Bitcoin was riding high at 69,000 November of last year. Not many of you believed that Bitcoin was going to crash potentially to $8,000. So this is like a dream come true for those in accumulation mode. Chuck says, I'm here for the long run. Exactly. Me too. Coinfather says, have a Sunday fun day. I hope for a $10,000 Bitcoin to accumulate more. Let's freaking go. Seattle John says 10 to 12,000. Buy a few more Bitcoin. What's the level Bitcoin would need to get low to for you in order to be a whole coiner and purchase an entire Bitcoin? I'd love to know that. 5 to 10 year plan. Tomorrow doesn't matter. Exactly. If you're in this for the long haul, just enjoy the short-term bumpy ride because it is what it is. Helen, you are right. It's going to hit it in 2023. I got 10,000 as the low, says Coinfather. Rave reminds us that 220,000 is still in play. Helen says there's a vector candle at $8,000. Seattle John says, yeah, long game here. We all live in Bitcoin City one day. Shout out to Bukele and the people of El Salvador. No BlockFi plug today. Respect. That is right. BlockFi was a sponsor here on the show. They were a good sponsor for 2 years. Unfortunately, FTX has affected BlockFi as FTX bailed out BlockFi, I believe, for $225 million and forced BlockFi to put all their customer funds on FTX. So everybody got screwed once again, unfortunately. And that sucks. I feel bad for that. Obviously, if anyone had money in BlockFi, man, doesn't get worse than that. Anyone losing money in crypto, it's a damn shame. But I announced as soon as I heard from BlockFi, before they even paused withdrawals, and I let everyone know here live on the show that BlockFi has paused withdrawals to remove all your crypto from BlockFi and to no longer use them, as they have been impacted, unfortunately, by FTX US. Even though Bankman-Fried was lying about it and saying that FTX US is fine, it's not affected, he lied, and now BlockFi has been impacted and affected. So obviously, no one's going to be promoting BlockFi into the future because they're probably going to go bankrupt along with all the FTX companies. And it is very unfortunate, and I am very sad to report that, but that's the reality. You feel me? Never lose a single crypto, says Shiba Inu for 5 years. Anthony says, I got the low being in at $13,000. Charles says 10,000 would be 85%ish, talking about capitulation. Could do a quick wick under 10,000. I still feel herd mentality. Bitcoin goes in the opposite direction. Well, so there you have it. Well, and now let's do a quick recap of what I covered with you here in today's show for everyone just tuning in, as we did share a lot. So here we go with the big finish. In today's show, we discussed $3 billion in Bitcoin leaving the exchanges as investor confidence is absolutely depleting right now, as it should be after this FTX hack. Also discussed breaking news, the largest asset holdings of FTX, which is $2.2 billion of a crypto token called Serum, but the entire market cap of Serum is only $84 million, and unfortunately, Bankman-Fried also schemed here and founded Serum. I also discussed that FTX bought $74 million in real estate in the Bahamas this year with your money. We also discussed Bankman-Fried is under supervision right now in the Bahamas, looking to flee to Dubai along with their CEO, Ellison. Also in today's show, we discussed $389 million in FTT token abruptly leaves the FTX exchange and contract address moving to an unknown crypto wallet. I also shared with you what Elon Musk, his thoughts on FTX, and saying that Bankman-Fried set off his BS detector regarding that Twitter acquisition and trying to raise money. We also discussed the Binance CEO, Changbin Zhao, revealing why his deal with FTX collapsed and says that the industry is now facing a 2008 style meltdown. And we also discussed Nicholas Merten says crypto needs to recover from this embarrassing FTX mess and is predicting a potential $10,000 bottom, and says that crypto can take 1 to 2 years to get back to where we're at. Talk about a 1 to 2 year setback. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments right down below, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's show.